Good afternoon. Welcome to Healthy Brain, ways to maintain your healthy brain. My name is Brad Averill, and I'm the Family and Consumer Sciences Agent in Athens, Clarke County. I'm sorry I can't be with you today in person for your program, but we're going to deliver quite a program here today about healthy brains. Let's jump right into it. According to the National Institutes of Health, scientists around the world are studying and learning about the changes in the brain cells and its impact on dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Their goal is to find new ways to prevent or slow or cure dementia. Because so much blood flows through the brain and the brain vessels are very delicate, anything that affects your heart and blood vessels can affect your brain. For example, having high blood pressure for a long time weakens arteries and may increase your risk of dementia. There are many ways to protect your brain health and decrease your chances of getting dementia. Today we're going to talk about many things that you can do to maintain your brain health, and it all starts by taking care of your heart and exercising and eating healthy. So today we're going to learn about what we can do to keep our brains healthy. Here are the objectives that we're going to cover today. We're going to define dementia and Alzheimer's disease. These are two separate terms and there's a difference between them. We're going to discuss Alzheimer's and the other types of dementia, and it's good to know what increases your chance of getting these diseases. And then we're going to identify lifestyle changes that might reduce our risk. We're going to talk about how to make some healthy lifestyle changes to hopefully prevent dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Dementia is not a specific disease. It's an overall term that describes a wide range of symptoms. According to the National Institute on Aging, dementia is a brain disorder that affects communication and performance of daily activities. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. Now, Alzheimer's is a disease. Alzheimer's disease is the most common type of dementia, and that counts from 60 to 80% of cases. Alzheimer's disease affects parts of the brain that control thought, memory, and language. So, how are these two different? When a person is diagnosed with dementia, they are being treated with a set of symptoms. This is similar to someone who has a sore throat. Their throat is sore, but it is not known what is causing that particular symptom. It could be allergies, strep throat, or a common cold. Similarly, when someone has dementia, they are experiencing symptoms without being told what is causing those symptoms. Another major difference between the two is that Alzheimer's disease is not a reversible disease. It is degenerative and incurable at this time. Some forms of dementia, such as a drug interaction or a vitamin deficiency, are actually reversible or temporary. Once a cause of dementia is found, appropriate treatment and counseling can begin. Until a proper diagnosis is made, the best approach to any dementia is engagement, communication, and loving care. One underlying cause of memory loss and confusion is the progressive damage to the brain cells caused by Alzheimer's disease. While current medications cannot stop the damage Alzheimer's causes to the brain cells, they may help lessen the symptoms for a limited time. There is something else we should talk about that you may hear in the media or from a physician, and that's mild cognitive impairment. MCI is when a person has early state memory loss or changes in their thinking ability, like the ability to see or ability to detect how far away or close something is. They might misplace things in their home, have difficulty keeping a train of thought during conversation, or trouble finishing everyday tasks like paying a bill. These changes may be noticed by the person or by friends or family, but are not serious enough to impact daily activities. Like dementia and Alzheimer's, these are not a normal part of aging. MCI, or mild cognitive impairment, again, is serious because about 1/3 of people will develop dementia due to Alzheimer's disease in 5 years. But not everyone with MCI progresses to Alzheimer's disease. Some people might stay at the same level of mild cognitive impairment and never progress. Others may revert to normal cognition and thinking. Therefore, doctors and researchers are trying to screen people for this disease and make sure they are monitored and treated early when appropriate. How common is Alzheimer's disease? Well, Alzheimer's is the leading cause of thinking problems and memory loss in older adults. Alzheimer's disease is the seventh leading cause of death in the United States. More than 6 million Americans are living with the disease, and 1 in 10 Americans over the age of 65 has Alzheimer's disease. As you can see from the graphs on the right, the prevalence of Alzheimer's disease increases with age. While only 5% of adults aged 65 to 74 have Alzheimer's, about 33%, or 1/3 of adults aged 85 or older, have Alzheimer's disease. A person's lifestyle, environment, and genetic background will contribute to the likeliness of getting a disease. These things can increase or decrease your chances of getting a disease, and they are called risk factors. Risk factors are something that increase your chances of getting a disease. Risk factors on their own are not a cause of disease. Risk factors represent an increased chance but not a certainty that a disease will develop. Similarly, having little or no exposure to the known risk factors does not necessarily protect a person from developing the disease. Some risk factors are modifiable, which means they can be changed. For example, smoking or high blood pressure. Other risk factors are non-modifiable, which means they cannot be changed, like age, race, genetics, or family history. Let's talk about what we know about risk factors for Alzheimer's disease and dementia. The good news, there are some lifestyle changes that we can make, such as healthy eating and being physically active, that might lower our risk. A recent study of more than 2,500 individuals showed that people who followed 4 out of the first 5 behaviors were found to have a 60% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Researchers are actively working to determine the combination of factors that helps the most. So some sites say that 5 behaviors or 7 or even 10 behaviors. The important thing to know is that all of these are related to good behaviors for preventing other diseases. So these 7 things right here are very, very important to lowering your risk of Alzheimer's disease. Let's talk about physical activity first. Ideally, we want to move more and sit less. Adults should move more and sit less throughout the day, and some physical activity is better than none. Adults who do any amount of physical activity at a moderate to vigorous intensity can gain some health benefits. So it's probably best if we describe what is the difference between a moderate intensity physical activity and a vigorous intense physical activity. Examples of moderate intensity physical activity are walking fast, doing water aerobics, riding a bike on level ground or with a few hills, playing doubles tennis, pushing a lawnmower. Those are just a few examples. Now, vigorous physical activity means you're breathing hard and fast and your heart rate has gone up quite a bit. You might use the talk test to gauge your intensity of your aerobic physical activity. So if you're being active at a vigorous level, you won't be able to say more than a few words without pausing for a breath. Here are some vigorous intensity physical activities: jogging or running, swimming laps, riding a bike fast or on hills, playing singles tennis, or playing basketball. So if you're doing moderate intensity physical activities like we talked about first, like walking or hiking, and you can talk but you can't sing, that is defined as a moderate intensity physical activity. We want to make sure we're building these up over time, and we don't just want to jump right into the vigorous levels of physical activity. Slowly replace those activities that start with a moderate effort with more vigorous activities as we go along. As a rule of thumb, 1 minute of vigorous physical intensity activity is about the same as 2 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity. Ideally, we want to shoot for between 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity, or if it's done at a vigorous level, you can knock that down to 75 minutes or 150 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity. Located here are just a few examples of how you can combine moderate intensity activity and vigorous intensity physical activity with some of those muscular strength activities. The second thing we're going to talk about is not smoking. It is known that smoking increases the risk of vascular problems, including strokes or smaller bleeds in the brain, which are also risk factors for dementia. In addition, the toxins in cigarette smoking can cause inflammation and stress to cells, which have both been linked to the development of Alzheimer's disease. Secondhand smoke has been known to show an increase in the risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, and other diseases. Studies have shown that it may also increase a person's risk of developing dementia later in life. Research also suggests that more exposure to secondhand smoke, the higher the chance of dementia. How can alcohol damage the brain? Heavy alcohol consumption over a long period of time can lead to brain damage. People who drink heavily over a long period of time are more likely to have a reduced volume of the brain's white matter, which helps to transmit signals between the different brain regions. This can lead to issues with the way that the brain functions. Long-term heavy alcohol consumption can also lead to a lack of vitamins thiamine B1 and Korsakoff syndrome, a memory disorder that affects short-term memory. Alcohol consumption is associated with a variety of short and long-term health risks, including motor vehicle crashes, violence, sexual risk behaviors, high blood pressure, and various cancers like breast cancer. The risks of these harms increase with the amount of alcohol you drink. For some conditions like cancers, the risk increases even at very low levels of alcohol consumption. To reduce the risk of alcohol-related harms, the 2020 to 2025 Dietary Guidelines recommends that the adults of legal drinking age can choose not to drink or drink in moderation by limiting intake to 2 drinks a day for men or 1 drink a day for women on days when alcohol is consumed. The guidelines also do not recommend that individuals who do not drink alcohol start drinking for any reason, and if that adult is of legal drinking age to drink alcoholic beverages, drinking less is better for your health than drinking more. Healthy eating is our next behavior. Healthy eating may reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease by reducing the oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain, as these are the underlying causes of Alzheimer's disease. Additionally, healthy eating impacts other risk factors for Alzheimer's disease like blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. There are many ways to achieve a healthy eating pattern. Using My Plate, like up here in the upper right-hand corner, is a great way to ensure you get a variety of foods. So what foods do you think are the most important for brain health? Are there any nutrients that you have heard about that might be particularly helpful? Let's look at this a little closer. Research about nutrition and brain health is still developing, but there are a few things and a few healthy eating patterns that seem particularly helpful. Antioxidants are substances that help reduce oxidative stress in the body. There are hundreds of substances that act as antioxidants. Some of the most common and potentially most powerful show up in our brightly colored fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy oils like olive oil, canola oil, and avocado. Fish contains heart-healthy fat and also antioxidants that are known contributors to brain health. Research also shows that eating fewer saturated fats from meats and snack foods and fewer sweets is better for our brain health. One eating pattern that includes all these factors and has been shown to be associated with less risk for Alzheimer's disease is the MIND diet. Let's talk more about this. MIND stands for the Mediterranean Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. Research is ongoing to see how well this diet works to prevent brain health changes, but some studies suggest that it might reduce the risk by 30 to 50%. The MIND diet combines aspects of two very popular and well-researched diets, the Mediterranean diet and the Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension diet. Many experts regard the Mediterranean health and the DASH diets as some of the healthiest. Research has shown that they can lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and several other diseases. Here are 10 foods that might help you choose the MIND diet to reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease. Green and leafy vegetables. Aim for 6 or more servings per week. This includes kale, spinach, cooked greens, and salads. Every Sunday morning at our house, we make potatoes with kale and eggs. That's kind of our Sunday thing. So we get our kale at least once a week in the house. All other vegetables are good for you. Try to eat another vegetable in addition to your green leafy vegetables at least once a day. And it's best to choose non-starchy vegetables because they have a lot of nutrients with a low number of calories. Try to eat some berries. Eat berries at least twice a week. Although the published research only includes data on strawberries, you should also consume other berries like blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries for their antioxidant benefits. Nuts. Try to get 5 servings or more of nuts per week. The creators of the MIND diet don't specify what kind of nuts to consume, but it's probably best to vary the type of nuts that you eat to obtain a variety of nutrients. Olive oils. Use olive oil as your main cooking oil, even though it's expensive lately. Check out the article that I will post at the end of this video for information on safety and cooking with olive oil. Whole grains. Aim for at least 3 servings daily. Choose whole grains like oatmeal, quinoa, brown rice, whole wheat pasta, and 100% whole wheat bread. Fish. Eat fish at least once a week. It is best to choose a fatty fish like salmon, sardines, trout, tuna, and mackerel because of their high levels of omega-3 fatty acids. Beans. Include beans in at least 4 meals every week, and this can include beans, lentils, or soybeans. Poultry. Try to eat chicken or turkey at least twice a week. Note that the fried chicken is not encouraged on the MIND diet. In terms of wine, aim for no more than 1 glass daily. Both red and white wine might benefit the brain. However, much research has focused on red wine compound called resveratrol, which also might help protect against Alzheimer's disease. The MIND diet also limits saturated fats and added sugar by encouraging people to eat less butter, cheese, fried food, fast foods, and sweets. As you can see, some of these healthy foods we talked about in the previous slides, while this diet is very specific, even following some of these behaviors is healthy. Research has shown that following the MIND diet, even a moderate amount is still associated with reducing your risk of Alzheimer's disease. This is an activity we are going to skip for today. If I was in person, we would do this in person, but we are going to skip this activity. We might recognize some foods like fruits and vegetables, fresh poultry and fish, and dry beans and peas as being healthy foods. But how can we know if packaged foods with a label are good choices? Well, let's use the label and look at the nutrition label to make that decision. Let's look at the daily value listed on the right. This is one way that you can use the nutrition label to choose your foods. The general guide to the percentage of daily value is that 5% daily value or less of a nutrient per serving is considered low. 20% daily value or more of a nutrient is considered high. Look for foods that are high in healthy nutrients like dietary fiber, calcium, low in less healthy nutrients like saturated fat, sodium, and added sugars. For example, if a food has 5% or less of the daily value for sodium per serving, that can be a good choice if you're aiming to eat less salt. The percent daily value tells you how much a nutrient in a serving of the food or beverage contributes to the total daily 2,000 calorie diet. Although the average person needs 2,000 calories a day to maintain their weight, individuals may need more or fewer depending on their lifestyle. If you're eating fewer calories per day and eat one serving, your daily value will still be higher than what you see on the nutrition label. Some nutrients on the nutrition facts label do not have a percent daily value, but consumers can still use the number of grams to compare to others and choose products. More older adults exceed the recommended limits for saturated fats, sodium, and added sugars. Compare and choose foods to get less than 100% of your daily value for each of these every day, making sure to adjust how many calories are in your diet. Additionally, many older adults do not get the recommended amount of dietary fiber, vitamin D, calcium, and potassium. Eating enough foods that contain these nutrients can reduce your risk of developing some diseases and conditions such as cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, and high blood pressure. Let's get back to our healthy behaviors. The next one is about blood pressure. High blood pressure really increases your risk for stroke and other brain problems. The goal is to keep your blood pressure at or below 120/80. You can check your blood pressure at the grocery store or drugstore, but make sure you get in to see your doctor or healthcare provider at least once a year so a professional can check it. If you have high blood pressure and you've been prescribed blood pressure medicine, take it as prescribed even if you have no symptoms. Blood pressure medications really work to lower your chances of having or dying from heart attack and stroke, and will also help your brain too. Many of the things we talked about in the last slides will also help your blood pressure, particularly eating healthy and exercise. Eating less salt is very important. Salt works on your kidneys to make your body hold on to more water. This extra stored water raises your blood pressure and puts strain on your kidneys, arteries, heart, and brain. Eating a diet high in fruits and vegetables like the MIND diet is shown to reduce blood pressure. Eating 3.5 to 5 cups of fruits and vegetables every day can help. Kind of easier to think about if you're just filling half of your plate with fruits and vegetables like in the My Plate picture. That is very important, and it's a little easier to think about than measuring 3.5 to 5 cups of fruits and vegetables. If you already have hypertension, regular physical activity can bring your blood pressure down to safer levels. The best types of exercise for lowering blood pressure include aerobic activities like walking, jogging, cycling, swimming, or dancing. Strength training may also help reduce your blood pressure. Exercise will keep your blood pressure at a healthy level. So if you don't have high blood pressure today, exercise to avoid high blood pressure in the future. Also, don't smoke. Not only does smoking or chewing tobacco immediately raise your blood pressure temporarily, but the chemicals in tobacco can damage the lining of your artery walls. This can lead to your arteries narrowing, increasing your blood pressure, and secondhand smoke can also increase your chance of higher blood pressure. More than 60% of adults with high blood pressure also have higher cholesterol. That's a pretty good correlation. Both can threaten your heart and your brain. When there's too much cholesterol, which is a fat-like substance in your blood, it builds up in the walls of your arteries. Over time, this buildup causes a hardening of the arteries, so the arteries become narrow and blood flow to the heart is slowed or blocked. You can lower your blood pressure with medication, exercise, and the heart-healthy diet that we discussed. If you have high cholesterol, try to keep it to less than 200 milligrams. Remember, anything that you do affects your heart, also affects your brain as well. Let's talk about a few more things that are shown to help and maintain your brain health. A working brain is a healthy brain. Make sure to challenge your brain a bit every day so you can reduce your risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. So what are a few things that you can do to challenge your brain? Learn a second or third language. Surf the web in moderation to learn new things. Read and write and use your non-dominant hand on a daily basis. The more complex, the better. Learn sign language. Play board games. And travel because it introduces a new and complex environment. Maybe play a musical instrument because it integrates and stimulates many different regions of the brain. Listen to classical music as it helps to increase learning. There are lots of free websites that you can get a daily cognitive workout every single day. Me myself, I play Wordle every single day. I send it to 3 or 4 friends every single day and have for the better part of 2 years now. Try to problem solve. Become ambidextrous. That means using both sides of your body. And try yoga, tai chi, or other exercises, as this is both good for your brain and your body. While it's important to stay mentally active, too much activity can cause stress. Slow down, take a breather, and learn to relax, because stress and anxiety can really hamper your brain function. Another protective behavior is prioritizing your time and not overcommitting. Making a list starting with the most important tasks that you need to complete every day, so you'll slow down and won't be afraid to say no to other commitments. When socializing, it's important for mental health, learning to spend time by yourself or taking a me time break. 30 minutes a day for me time is also a part of healthy living. This will keep you from burning out and becoming a better you. This is a little activity puzzle. Once we're done with the presentation today, please take a few minutes to try to create this little puzzle here and see how long it takes. Maybe create a little activity to see who can complete this the fastest. Social engagement is also associated with reduced risks of disability and mortality, and may also reduce your risk for depression. Remaining socially active will support brain health and possibly delay the onset of dementia. There are many ways to stay socially active in your community, and these activities will provide the greatest connection to others. Participate in clubs, volunteer efforts, and other community pursuits might be valuable in maintaining your overall health. Many of these social activities are low cost or free, such as joining a walking group or a book club in your neighborhood. Staying socially active can also be as simple as engaging with friends and family on a regular basis. Pursue social activities that are meaningful to you. For example, if you love animals, volunteer at a local animal shelter or a rescue group. Don't isolate yourself as you get older. People who are isolated also have higher risk for dementia. Join groups or social organizations in your community. Maintain and build your friendships and family network. Be forgiving and giving. Try exercises or hobbies that involve others, like dancing. And don't retire from life when you get older, but rather find different ways to participate in a new way of life. In summary, we can have a healthy brain by having a healthy lifestyle. The first, exercise 30 minutes, 5 or more days a week at a moderate intensity, like walking, dancing, or swimming. Number 2, quit smoking. Number 3, avoid or limit alcohol, no more than 1 drink a day for women or 2 drinks a day for men. Number 4, eat healthy. You can do this by following My Plate and filling half of your plate with fruits and vegetables at each meal, or by trying the Mind Diet. Number 5, keep your blood pressure in check. Get it tested not only at the grocery store or at the pharmacy, but at your doctor for your yearly check-ins. Number 6, challenge your brain. Try to do things that challenge that brain every single day. And number 7, stay socially active, meet up with friends, play games, and talk on the phone. These strategies can help you achieve and maintain a healthy brain. Making or improving some personal habits takes time and effort. Start with a small goal. Choose one habit that you would like to change and improve. Set a time frame for making that change. Small changes today can lead to big changes tomorrow, but don't wait until you have to make changes. Start the road to a healthy brain today. Thank you for spending just a little bit of your day today during your lunch hour with me. I enjoyed spending some time with you guys, and I hope I get to join you guys in person for the next class so I can engage in some of that delicious lunch that you guys provide. Thank you, Amy, and everybody, for participating today. Have a wonderful day.